Hi guys, it's Anissa. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing an updated makeup routine. The last routine that I did was a long time ago. I use a lot of different products now, a lot of new techniques, and I also didn't really explain what I was doing. I actually let my parents do the voiceover in that video. It's super funny. So I will leave a card up here for you guys to go watch that one and in the description box. That way you can watch this video first because you better stay. For certain steps in my makeup routine, I like to mention more than one product because sometimes I want to bounce back and forth. Sometimes there's two products that I like just as equally, and I felt like it would not be fair to leave one of them out because that's just rude. Before we go any further, make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe because I mean, you know you're gonna come back. You know you're gonna come back. So just make it easier on yourself and press that button right now. We are going to go ahead and get into the video. Before we even start, we are going to address the elephant in the room. Yes, right here. Right here on the tippy tip of my nose, there is a big pimple. I'm aware. To get into this, the first thing I'm going to be using is the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. And let me just say, in general, I feel like people sleep on e.l.f. e.l.f. was the first brand that I really bought a lot of things from just because they were so cheap. Not cheap, affordable. Recently, e.l.f. has really been coming for everybody. I mean, I remember when I first started doing makeup 4 or 5 years ago, they were so well known for their brushes and they still are, but now they have complexion products and they're kind of like coming for every other drugstore brand. And I mean, they still have improvement with their range. They're doing better than most brands. There's just a lot of brands that have not caught up to the game yet, and they are going to get left in the dust. So next, I am going to be setting my primer, which is something that I used to do, but I kind of fell out of for a little bit, and I'm not sure why. When I started doing it again, I realized why I did it in the first place. I'm just going to be taking this Real Technique sponge, and I'm going to be setting this primer, and I'm not going to use a lot of product at all, just enough to set everything in place. I actually used to love this Laura Mercier powder for baking, and I think everybody uses this Laura Mercier powder to bake, but now I like a little bit more coverage out of the powder that I used to bake. Not saying that this one doesn't give coverage, because it does, and it does have color to it. I have found other powders that I like just a little bit better than Laura Mercier, which I never thought would happen. So next we are going to get into foundation. I'm actually going to mention two foundations for this step. I'm going to first mention the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. This is in the color 420. I've used this countless times on my channel, but this one I don't think I have ever mentioned on my channel. And I have loved this for, oh my gosh, a long time. This is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra 24-Hour Makeup, and this is in the color 500 Suede W. This is the one that I'm going to be using today. This one is a little bit thicker than the Fenty one, and it's also a little bit closer to the color that I am right now because I've been out in the sun a lot. I have two different brushes that I have been going back and forth between for my foundation. If I'm not using a beauty blender or a sponge, I'm going to be using one of these two. So this first one is this It Brushes for Ulta, and this is the Airbrush Buffing Foundation brush. And then I also have this Morphe M439, which I think everyone and their mother uses, but I think today I'm actually going to use this one. The Morphe foundation brush is a lot denser because this one has a lot more of a flat top, and it's still pretty dense, but this one is way denser. I know I probably say this a lot, but it is so important to have a strong base. Next step is going to be concealer, and today I am going to be using the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, and this is in the color Butterscotch. Absolutely love this stuff. I have been someone who has gravitated towards thicker concealers lately. I'm not sure what's in the air, what's in the water, but I just love a good thick concealer. If I'm not using this one, I'm usually grabbing for the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. Alright, so this is actually a new technique that I have been using. I let my concealer sit for about a minute and just thicken up a little bit. What letting it sit is going to do is thicken it up and give you even more coverage than what you would have if you were to just go in now and blend it. So I will be back in about a minute. All right, so now that I have let this sit for a little bit, I'm going to be using my beloved e.l.f. Camo Concealer Sponge. I have been absolutely loving this sponge. It works actual magic. I went from having one to now I have, I think, 3 of them. I actually tried it out in my full face using e.l.f. makeup. It has been a game changer. I just love that it's super precise and super easy to hold. And you can really get in all of your little crevices around your eyes super easily. As I am blending this in under my eye, I take a little bit that is on my sponge and put it on my eyelid, because who buys eye primer anymore? Now that this is blended out, I'm going to be baking / setting my under eyes, which I will explain in a second. But recently I have been grabbing for the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Setting Powder in the color Gobi. And I actually have a new technique with this also that I have been doing. Get a wet sponge. I just use the same one that I used to apply my concealer. And what you want to do, instead of just baking and putting a bunch of powder under your eyes, you want to start off with a little bit of powder and just really press it into your skin. That product is actually seeping in, and then you can grab a little bit of extra. Give yourself that bake effect. Because what baking does is make your makeup last longer and makes it look a little more filtered. But really pressing that powder into your skin and making sure it is actually seeping in there and melting with everything else is what's gonna give you that super, super long lasting effect. Another really, really, really good powder that I have been loving is the Pat McGrath, the Blind Setting Powder. It's over there, so I'm not gonna grab it, but I'll put a picture in here of the color that I've been using. This is definitely the cheaper option. What I love about this powder is that it has a little bit of a yellow undertone in it, so it gives me that highlighted, brightened look, and it's also setting. And I'm also going to go ahead, use the excess powder on the sponge, and set my eyelids. Next is going to be eyeshadow, and for eyeshadow I have 2 options that I'm going to be giving you guys. If I am not grabbing for the Jaclyn Hill palette, which I have been loving recently out of nowhere, it's kind of weird, I am using these e.l.f. bite-sized eyeshadows, and I will use both of these. This one is in the color Pumpkin Pie, and this one is in the color Cream Sugar. I absolutely love these shadows. They're $3 a piece, and they perform amazingly for only being $3. I've had this palette forever, and for some reason I have just been loving it out of nowhere. I'm going to be taking this color and this color right here, and I am going to take a blending brush and I'm going to mix those 2 together, and I'm going to start as low as I possibly can get with these dang eyelash extensions, and I'm just going to put that on my outer crease to begin and slowly bring it on the inside, but really focusing more on the outside to kind of smoke it out. My favorite eyeshadow look is just a nice dark crease with a shimmery lid. And I will just do the same thing to the other eye. How you shape your eyeshadow can affect the shape of your eye comes off. Next, I'm just going to take this e.l.f. smudge brush and I'm going to spray it with a little bit of Fix Plus. I'm going to be going in with the color Queen that is right here. I absolutely love the way that this shadow, like, look at that. And then I'm going to be taking this Morphe M435 again and just blending that lid color with my crease color. Boom. I'm just going to take a small smudge brush from e.l.f. and I'm going to be going in with the colors Enlightened and Obsessed and putting that in my inner corner just to brighten up everything. And when doing the inner corner, I make sure to connect the color to my lid color. That way it doesn't look like it's just there. It just kind of opens up the inside of your eyeballs. Next, I'm going to be wiping off the bake using this e.l.f. blush brush. Next is brows, and I will probably not stop using this product unless Jesus himself comes down and tells me to stop using it and get something else. This is the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the color Ebony, and I'm just going to take the matching brush and I'm going to fill in my eyebrows. I brush my brow out and I kind of get the general shape that I'd like. It makes it easier to fill in, kind of gives you a guideline of what you already have. I will take it and lightly fill in the front part of my brow, and I will actually outline the top first. I will do the same thing to the bottom. And then I will just fill in any areas that do not have hair. Next is going to be powder, and I have been absolutely loving this Maybelline Super Stay Full Coverage 16-Hour Powder Foundation. This is in the color 350. As you can see, she's pretty much gone. It's just an angled, really super dense brush, and it's amazing for wiping off bake and applying any type of like powder product. But I honestly love this Maybelline powder more than, I don't think I even have a high-end powder that I like. Next is going to be bronzing, and I'm going to mention also 2 different products for this. My go-to, which I have been using for probably a good minute now, is this Hoola Toasted Bronzer by Benefit. It just looks like this. But I think today I am going to be dipping into this Carity The Contour Kit Second Collection, which looks like this. It's so beautiful. I honestly had such a hard time for the longest time finding a contour kit made for people like me, but I am actually going to be using the color Corey, which is this middle shade. This is how I've been doing my contour, but what I do is I take the color, and I have been using this e.l.f. contouring brush. It's a super dense, short little brush, and what I do, I get my product on there, and I see kind of my outline of where I want it, because for me it's still really hard for me to just go in. So what I do, I kind of just stamp it on my face, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. I think I got this brush from like Walmart. I'm going to take this side of the brush and just blend that contour in. So now I have the general area of where that contour is going to go. So now I'm gonna take the other side of this brush and just get a little bit more product, like barely any at all, and just kind of work that in. So then I will just do the same thing on the other side. Next is going to be blush, and I have mentioned this in probably millions and millions of videos. If you guys have any good blush suggestions, let me know down in the comments. But I have been loving this e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush, and this is in the color Always Rosy. So what I do, I will just take a stippling brush, and I will get some product and just put it right on the apples of my cheeks. Is that too much? Blush is still something that I'm not super confident in, but I feel like I'm better at it than I was when I started. Next is probably going to be my favorite part of this whole video, which is highlighter. If you guys have been with me for a while, you know that my OG is the Becca Topaz highlighter, but they actually just came out with this new setting shade called Chocolate Geode, and they might as well have named this Anissa, because I'm telling you, honey, this was made for me. It was made for me, and you can't tell me any different. I just take a little concealer size brush, and I'm going to do my nose highlight first, because y'all know, literally my favorite thing to do. I feel like it just makes the whole look really come together. I take it and I do the outline of where I want it. So that would be right there. So then I'm just going to take this Real Techniques setting brush and just blend this highlighter in on my cheeks. I'm just going to take some setting spray and a Q-tip and clean off my nose ring. Next, I am going to set my face using this MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus, just to kind of help the makeup all melt together. And I'm pretty generous with that, as you can see. Next is going to be lips, and I have been loving this 3 products combo. So first I will go on with the Glossier Mintbalm.com Universal Skin Solvay, and this stuff is super thick. That's literally all you need. Next, I will use this MAC matte lipstick in the color Persistence. I don't know why I bought the matte version of this, because I guess I thought the matte would be cute. This is like the perfect nude. This would not be a makeup routine without me mentioning my favorite lip gloss of all time. This is the e.l.f. Lip Plumping Gloss in the color Mocha Twist. Oh my gosh, guys. Number one, this stuff is so pigmented. It gives like a minty feeling to your lips. Last step is going to be mascara, and I have just been using forever and probably always this L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black. I really think I love it so much because I do have eyelash extensions, so I don't apply mascara to my top lashes, but I love this little wand for my bottom lashes. If you guys have any mascaras that you love with little wands, or even if they make special mascara for bottom lashes that you guys love, let me know because I want to try something different. Pro tip: if you get a bunch of mascara under your actual eyelashes, wait till it dries, and if you go back in, it will literally just flake off. All right guys, this is the finished look. This is my go-to makeup routine as of right now. If there's any specific video that you guys would like to see from me, please let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you guys because I obviously have content planned, but I want to know what you guys like, what you don't like. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.